I think something a lot of teams struggle on when they play LA Thieves on this map is just the AR dominance and how like the ARs of LAT are disabled to just hold down crosses and just shit on teams, and there's really like nothing you could do. They're just slaying you out so heavy. I think something teams need to start doing more, and the reason why Atlanta FaZe was not doing it this game is because I felt like they're way too like anxious. I feel like there's like this aura around when you play LA Thieves on this map where you don't want them to have like the lead at all. Like you don't want to be playing catch up. So you're always trying to stay as close to the hill as possible and always like work for the time, always try to like bait them onto the time, which is not a bad idea. But I think we haven't even seen it this year because Ultra's always like banned against him. I think Ultra would play this map very well against LAT. And I think even Optic, I feel like the reason why like Hydra and Scrap, like just the team in general, have a harder time against a team like Optic is because of like all the routes that they take. You have to like match fire with fire. Like LA Thieves has Hydra, Envoy, taking routes, doing pinches all the time. That could get really annoying. And the reason why Optic plays so well against them is because they fight fire with fire, just naturally, with the playstyles that Shotzi and Envoy have. Hydra doesn't like looking for people. Hydra likes making people look for him. I don't think any like you could even tell by the personalities on this team, none of them like to be like the person who's like dealing with, oh, we gotta watch for this guy on the pinch, da. That's why I can tell they love playing like Atlanta FaZe, even though Atlanta FaZe had their number this year. But Atlanta FaZe is a more direct team, takes a lot less routes, like way less routes. If there was some sort of a statistic or tracker on just the amount of routes taken in a hard point, I feel like Atlanta FaZe would be near the bottom, if not like the bottom. There's probably a team like that's lower just because they're just always getting fucking pissed on and playing catch up. But I want to talk about this right here. So something I think you have to do when playing LA Thieves, I'm gonna pull out the marker for this too. I forgot about the marker. I think something you have to do when you're playing a team like LA Thieves on this map is you need to spread them thin. You can't allow them to play like they're close AR trade setups on a map like this because, ultimately, like you see it this game, you see it basically every time they play this map, like they're just gonna like shit on you. Like this is a map like built for them. There's enough routes for Hydra and Envoy to take, and there's a lot of AR angles. People like Scrap, Ghosty, this is where they thrive. These are maps that they thrive on. Straight AR angles, walk into irons, like all that stuff. One of the best ways to try to disrupt like that sort of formation, that sort of style that LA Thieves has is by spreading them thin, making them have to, watch routes, watch pinches. So like in a scenario like this, Atlanta FaZe finally got control of like this outer area. They now have like no competition out here, right? They got no competition out here. I think in a scenario like this, they're probably way more focused on the guys on the hill, like rightfully so. But, it's only like a 5-point game at this moment, and you're going to have guys off spawn. I think there should be some proactivity in a situation like this. The second you have control of this side, I see a lot of teams do. I've seen Joe do it very well. There's a lot of times he holds. But the second you get control of this side, you got to start spreading this shit out. You got to start making the guys off spawn now having to come and look for you now. You need to start taking routes. Takes people away from the hill. This guy all of a sudden takes a route down here, starts pushing down there. You now like force pressure away from the hill because now these guys are obligated to go help you or like to go help the team by going to look for you because they don't want to lose like the P2 side spawns. They want to try to keep them, even though a lot of teams on P2 like fight for the outside stage side so they could trap teams in the back, and you're going to see LA Thieves do that successfully like on like the second P2, I believe. But in a scenario like this, if you want to help the team in the best way, you should start spreading LA Thieves thin right now. They only got 2 guys on the hill. You literally got 2 guys down. You got their 2 ARs. So like their 2 SMGs are around here. This is a problem like for Ticket. Like all you need to do is get 1 guy off the hill. They're not even gonna have 2 guys on the hill. They're gonna have 1 guy on the hill. You get that. You get the 1 guy off the hill. Hydra now has to make a decision if he's gonna stay in Ticket, go around, or hop on the hill. You basically have the hill cleared, and now you have control of this side and the guys off spawn, like all the attention starts going to this side, leaves the hill a lot freer, leaves Hydra very vulnerable, leaves Hydra by himself for all your guys off spawn. I mean, holy shit, my fucking... So if like you take away Envoy, or fuck, I said the wrong guy. If you take away... Yeah, I was actually on the right guy. So if you take away Envoy and you just leave Hydra there, Hydra now has to deal with pressure from here, and then this guy spreads. These guys now have to divert. Like, maybe one guy off spawn might go here to help, but if like this guy dies, he's gonna have to go take attention over there. You now have one guy over here isolated by the rest of the team, while everyone else kind of has to go deal with that or try to help it. There's obviously going to be one guy trying to help Hydra. Obviously they're not going to like 3-stack this side and leave him on the hill, but you now basically get control of the hill, and now LA Thieves has to commit to this side, and that gives you space to now work this side if you have to, or just like actually take full control of this side. Just by this one guy diverting attention away, even if he like dies, you still have control of this going into the P2, and LAT still has to fight their way out of it. But obviously on this hill, there probably will still be flips. Like the second Atlanta FaZe, like all their players like move up past here and they start getting kills, and they have a guy now getting this, there might be one guy that gets this spawn, but the rest of them are going to start like flipping out. So in a scenario like this, you gotta just like spread them thin, because the best way to beat LATs in this map is by taking a lot more routes, because if you divert their attention away more and don't let them get a good setup, because that's one thing LATs does on this map, is their setups. The second they get an area locked down, bro, it's over for you on this map. That's why they're 10-0 on this map. You're just locked. Like, you're just fucked. So you're gonna even see how this plays out. So like Draza, or yeah, so Draza chooses to play tight, because, and also another thing I want to talk about real quick, playing a tight setup, the reason why people do it more near the end of the game when like they're down is because at that point the other team is so close to the win that they're taking a lot less routes and they're flooding the hill more, or at least like they tried to. So playing a tight setup when like you're down at the end, but at the beginning of the game and the beginning stages of a game, I mean, playing a tight setup does nothing for you, because people are obviously going to take more routes at the beginning when you're obviously nowhere near the win. They're going to be taking more routes to like set themselves up for success more. So playing tight setups at the beginning could work in certain scenarios in certain areas of the map, but on this P1, you should be like spreading. Obviously, this guy's in the position to actually like take the route. The other people off spawn, while this guy's causing like more chaos over on this side, they could play tighter. But Draza shouldn't be playing tight when this area of the map's still open, and like he's just gonna flood it, and then you're just gonna like, you know, you're just not gonna get it at all. So now you see like a number 5 and number 8, they just walk up there and they easily take Draza out, and now they have control of this side now. And now Atlanta FaZe with 20 seconds left has to fight out of the back here with LATs having control of it, which is no fucking fun. Like, even if they get these kills, look, there's already a guy back there again. Like, there's so much they gotta focus on. Now they don't have control of this, and now they're just trapped over here. And this is where you don't want to be when you're facing LA Thieves, is just like in a fucking shit can like this. And look, so like if you notice here, exactly like I talked about. So like the second like the hill flips now, so LA Thieves is basically pushing to get control of this side, and now they just want to trap Atlanta FaZe in the back. So they work super hard. Atlanta FaZe had to try to fight their way to get out of it. And then they just fucking push them in the back, and now they have them all flipped here. And now they have them in a shit can setup. This scenario is a good mixture of great plays from LA Thieves like Hydra, but I also want to show you something that Atlanta FaZe could have did a little better on this P3. So as we talk about on the P1, spreading them thin once you have control, the reason why it's different on that P1 than is this P3. So on P3, I'm going to talk about they should be a little bit tighter. The reason why it was different on the P1 when he had hedges control is because when you have a power spot and you start spreading and you make them play thin and you make them spread thin, it's because you have the power position and they're trying to get the power position back, and they can't just be more direct on the power position when you're spreading them out. But when they are in a more advantageous spot and you're playing tighter, they're gonna have to spread to try to collapse on you, which makes it easier on you when you're playing a tighter setup. So that's why it's a little bit different, depending on the hill, depending on the scenario. So I'm gonna play this example. So Atlanta FaZe here, and this is where I feel like, dude, this is me just going into some crazy shit, but I feel if it's like your full-time job, bro, you can learn stuff from everybody. And this is how I tell people maybe don't, like, a lot of teams, obviously players are watching their own VOD, but you know what also helps is watching VOD of other teams and what other teams are doing in certain things, and trying to implement multiple things from different people into your own game. You don't always have to look at the best teams. Sometimes, like, the best things actually come from, you know, teams a little bit further down. So in this scenario, I thought they should be playing a lot tighter. In this scenario, I feel like number one should be tighter over here and outer, just waiting, because obviously they know LA Thieves has control of the outside, but LA Thieves can't just like sit here. Yeah, LA Thieves have control, but they have to push. And you wait for them to push, and then when you get kills, then you could start pushing back out. So a scenario like this, number one's trying to basically like force a gunfight early on the outer, but it comes at a cost. When you're doing it by yourself and they got multiple people here, you just get ISO'd. And then when you get ISO'd, you get sent right to the back. You get sent right back to the fucking Shadow Realm. So in this scenario, I thought they should be playing tighter. I thought number one should maybe drag back. Four's going outer to watch this. He could still watch this from hedges, but one should be somewhere by him watching his, like, you know, literally watching all this side. And now they all have to collapse, and even if number 6 dies, whatever. If he spawns on a pinch, that's great. Like, that's perfectly fine. Like, they have fucking full control of this, and if they play for the outer guy, like, they get that kill, aBeZy pushes out, and they get this kill. Maybe one more time, like, these might just, like, spawn P1, because he may still be blocking. All depends on the time. But this setup would have worked a lot better, because they would have been able to soak the time and keep control of outer, and once they get the kills, now know that they have control and they can push through, because now all these kills that they're going to get, all of LA Thieves is going to be going back there. So you're going to see how this plays out. So you see number one playing way too far away. He should be in a tighter, more guaranteed spot for like a trade on the car. Make the guy work for the kill a bit. Make them push closer to where the guy on the hill can maybe help you. This guy outer can maybe help you. Like right now he's a bit too ISO'd. So right now he just gets shot and he's already gone. He's already gone. Now, like, this guy's gone. Now they got full control of outer. Now this guy now has to go back to help him and look this way, as opposed to making these guys push way further forward to, like, have to, like, contest for the kill. They could have been playing tight. Could have been playing trades. Could have got trades. And now you just see how number 4 gets ISO. Look at all the arrows just collapsing on him. And then, like, they take care of him. Now all of Atlanta FaZe is in the back here. And now they got to fucking take routes to get out. And they actually do get out. But we're going to play the Rocker example real quick before we get back to this is an example of Rocker doing it. I've watched Kenny do this multiple times. This is on the exact same P2 to P3 rotation. So you notice he's not even trying to play an island because he knows that they're all gonna be coming this way. He's playing super tight to his team. And there's only 2 of them here, which is even better. Like, he's in a position to help the guy on the hill and also fight the outside. So you see how, like, tight he's playing to, like, his fucking teammate. He's playing in, like, a guaranteed spot where he's not scamming. This is, like, a non-scam area. Like, if a person pushes outer, they have to work for it. And notice he has angles on, like, the outside. And look, he's just playing tight, and they're able to get control. And with this control, even though Boston still has control of the outside, Boston has to fight for it. And when Boston fights for it, they have to overcommit. Lives, obviously, they can't really block the back. You can't let Rocker get all the time. And the overcommitting now is going to free up this spawn, and you're going to see where Rocker's able to flip after a while. So right now, he's playing super tight. Right now, fucking Kenny's inside the hill. Which, I mean, I don't really think he has to be, but I think he's doing it for safety reasons. Because now he knows all Boston has to come. And now look, now Boston has to overcommit. They have to work for this hill, and working for the hill now causes all of Rocker to now get the top spawns, and now they get control for, like, the P4. So that's an example of playing tighter on a P3, on a P2 to P3 rotation differentiates from P1 hedges when you have control of that. That's where you want to spread them thin. That's when you want to make them work away from P1 as opposed to just allowing them to get control of hedges again very easily because they don't have to look for you. All right, now, so we talk about at the beginning how you have to take more routes against a team like LA Thieves to spread them thin and like get control back. So this is another perfect example of it. They're trapped in the back. Number 5's not even expecting it. Take a route like to get them out, and all of a sudden they're spread thin. Now this guy has to go do other stuff. Now this guy gets ISO'd because like now they're just, you know, they're actually working. They're taking routes. They get them out. Now like these has the back spawns. Atlanta FaZe has this spawn. So this P4 and this P5, these are like small things to clean up on. But, you know, when you're going as a team like LA Thieves, you need every fucking point. You need every 10, 20 seconds you could get because they're 10-0, bro. They don't lose this map. So I'm nitpicking a lot of things on this P4 and P5. FaZe usually a very good P5 team, but actually, I can't even say they're good. They're a very good team at keeping people off, but in terms of maximizing the time, that is something you got to work on. I kind of feel like they do too much sometimes, but I am going to go over some things on the P5. So first I'm going to go over P4. So on P4, the reason why P4 is so important, everyone knows the money hill, but if you die on rotation when the other team has space in mid, you're basically fucked up. But I have to point out though, Atlanta FaZe still get like 38 points off of this, which is really good. 38 points off of a P4 is really good. But, you know, they had an opportunity to actually max out and get the whole time. And these are the types of holds you need when you're playing against a 10-0 team. Am I right? Like, yeah, 38's good, but like, if you have the ego of Atlanta FaZe, you would want to do better. Like, yeah, we had full control of this P4. We should be maximizing even a 45. They should be aiming for 45 to 50 to 55. Maybe some contest, maybe like some white time, you know, you may have. So 50 should be a nice goal for like if you have like the full P4. So dying rotations, very important not to. So Draza knows Hydra's gonna be taking this route. Could argue maybe he could have ran away, but I mean, you don't know if he's gonna fucking hard shell you or not. But he's also one shot too. Definitely could have backed away and made Hydra work for it. But Hydra gets that kill. And then over here in mid, so Simps on this bush right here, and aBeZy's like basically right beside him, right down there on the stairs right there. In this scenario, I don't think aBeZy needs to even like really worry about this guy too much. I mean, obviously, you know, he's there, you got to worry about him. But you got to be thinking, like, Simp has his up top, so that's why he's not watching it. But the second Simp gets this one kill, like, aBeZy overchows Ghosty there. He should be like playing for like the mid control, especially since he knows Hydra's also in this area as well. So like Hydra obviously gets a kill on Draza, as you can see right here. So this lets you know there's gonna be at least 2 guys over on this side, and you're only seeing like 1 guy over here. So why are we overchowing this guy? You know that guy's far away. You could be a smart enough player to know it's gonna take us some time to like get along this cross anyway to even like get a position that's actually threatening. The immediate pressure is the mid control because you need to get numbers away from their mid control. That way when Draza spawns up, he's able to actually pick that up, and he doesn't have, and he's not just spawning in the LA Thieves like fucking players just staring him down. So you want to try to relieve the pressure away from mid. This is the immediate pressure that puts the biggest threat on the P4. So this should be priority. Shouldn't be overchelling a guy fucking deep back. Like basically he's closer to P3 than he is P4. Like not the immediate pressure. So Simp gets this kill. Should be anticipating a trade because Hydra just got a kill on Draza in ticket. Like this should have been aBeZy's trade right here. If aBeZy at least trades like this guy out, even though Hydra's right there, if he at least gets one of these trades, and now it's just like Ghosty and him, it's now like basically a 2v2. Granted, Atlanta FaZe still does get this because MC reads the pressure very well, hops off the hill, anticipates this guy. Very good. Like, that is, like, high fucking play. Like, I know a lot of, like, I hate to have to compare him to, like, fuck people that aren't pros, but I know a lot of people in this scenario where their team would be dying on the outer and they would just hide on the hill. Just like, oh shit, just like hide, like do my best. He forces the issue. He knows where the pressure's coming from, anticipates it, gets him away before they even have a chance to give him trouble out here. So that's good. Gives his team some time to recover. Draza gets close to him. They're playing tight because they know they're a man down. They know LA Thieves knows they have 2 down. They're going to try to flood the hill. So when you know they're going to flood the hill, that's when you play tight. That's an example of playing tight. Gets that guy. And now they have control of this. So now they had another opportunity here. So now they got like the numbers away. They know they're kind of keeping this guy back. This would have been a perfect time for Sim to pull out an AR and go up top. Because right now, his team has control of like the top. aBeZy's about to go hedges. So you basically are going to have hedge control. 2 guys on the hill. The best you can do in a scenario like this is just hold the top angle and get crossfires. And just like fucking take people up. This makes it so much easier on like your people on the hill. If you're just doing the crossfire, I've seen a lot of people do it successfully. Where you just like, because when you have a good AR up there, just shooting. And I know Sim's very good with the AR, and he's fucking taking people on the cross. This guy on the hill has the easiest fucking job at that point. So in this scenario, like they definitely could have been taking people on the cross, but instead he chooses to go through mid, and like basically take a route that aBeZy was kind of already watching. And yeah, LA Thieves could take a route, but I mean, if you're up top and he's hedges and he could basically see everything through the door, see everything in front, and you're like up top and could help him on a trade and help the people on the cross as well, I think that would be more ideal. Even if it's just temporarily, like just to get like this guy on the cross and like these people, the second they're gone, like now you hop off. Like instead they all die, and LA Thieves is able to contest it a bit. It doesn't get off, but LA Thieves actually gets it back relatively quick. But this is valuable time that Atlanta FaZe could be getting that now LA Thieves kind of took away from them with like all these contests. So if you really think about it, obviously there was like some white time in there. So even if you take away like the white time, like take away like 5 seconds, they get 50. This should be like a tied game, 75 to 75. Which is a lot more, you know, which is less demoralizing going into like the P5. You're like, okay, shit, this game's a lot closer, you know. It's always nice to look at the scoreboard and see shit's close. So now on this P5, going into this P5. So Sim once again making some fucking good plays here. Like no one anticipates him to be taken like this fucking. No one anticipates it. Like no one's ever on this fucking P5 going to be taken around. This is why it's a heads up play from Chris. Like goes all the way around. No one, because this is the spawn that you don't want, you know. So no one's gonna expect you to take it early. Everyone's gonna expect you to come through like the door, like this way. Ghosty's watching. That's why Ghosty's watching. They expect you to come through here, through mid. That's why people are watching it. He basically caught 2 guys lacking because they are not gonna expect him to go there. So now Atlanta FaZe has control of this. And something I want to point out here. So if you watch enough VOD on this map, and I've talked about this so many times with Optic. I made like multiple videos, probably 3, 4, 5 videos just on the P5 spawns alone. If you play this game enough and you watch enough VOD, which I hope that all these pro players are doing because they're getting paid very good money to fucking, you know, like no shit like this. This is common knowledge. This is even hindsight anymore. Like, it's not even about blocking the back, but it's more about where this guy spawns. So Scrap gets a split spawn because it's an unoccupied spawn. I've talked about unoccupied spawns before. If you're not occupying an area, so like usually if you have a guy around like the camera area or like somewhere just like high top blocking, you usually block that. But most people don't even want that spawn anyway. The second number 2 spawns up here. This happened at AG and I made a whole fucking video about it. The second this guy spawns up here, it is literally the game telling you, yeah, there's a guy back there. Because otherwise, we would have gave you that spawn. There's a guy back there. This should immediately, if this guy calls it out, should tell you instantly, someone got to look that way. I know you're getting all these kills on this side, so you know majority of them are over there. But the second this guy gets to spawn, tells you at least one guy. Everyone knows about splits in this game. It's not out of the ordinary extraterrestrial thing. It's not. This is common knowledge. You spawn there, they're there. You know, that's as simple as that is. So he spawns there, nobody looks here. And granted, it's Ghosty gets a nade kill, but he gets a nade kill because Scrap walks up and he tags him. So now they're like, oh fuck, now they gotta look this way. So now like they're tweaking. And I even see, like now 3 gets that spawn because fucking number 5 is blocking it. Duh, you know? So now they're tweaking and they're like staring behind. You're not going to get the Eski spawn if he's like close there. It means they got it deeper, and if they take that route, I mean, fuck, they take it. But so like now they're tweaking a bit. They probably could have got that guy. They probably could have got the time, and now they got another fucking set of kills. And now the same thing happens again. Number 2 spawns up top. He doesn't spawn here, doesn't spawn there. Spawns up top again. What does that tell you now? It tells you a guy's going to be over there. This is like specifically a spawn for if they're there. You know, that's specifically what that spawn is for. And then happens again. He could have played, like, if he knew, like, right now, like, the guy spawns there, he should be, like, sprinting to get the other side of, like, the camera right there, knowing that they're all going to be on this side. Like, instead he's playing this, completely ignoring that his teammate was up here, and then he dies again. That's 28 seconds, because now if he's on the hill, and now Sim's pushing, now to get control of this, and now, like, they get trades here, they're on the hill the whole time, and aBeZy's there, but now look how far aBeZy is. He's all the way fucking back here. Imagine if he was like here right now. Granted, Sim's doing a great job fucking locking this shit down, but I mean, this could have been a lot cleaner of a P5, but it was a good P5 because they didn't let LA Thieves get too much. LA Thieves like barely didn't even get like more than 5 seconds of time on this, but it's about how Atlanta FaZe could maximize time more, because yes, you're doing a great, like, this is a better job than anyone's ever done against LA Thieves, because usually LA Thieves just like soaks all this time and they got a fucking big lead. The fact you kept it this close after a rotation, like, not to have to add that aura around LA Thieves even more, but it is like an aura. Like, they haven't lost the map. Okay, this is good. After a whole rotation, a 77 to 88 point game, this is good. Like, this is good against a team of this caliber. But if you think you're a team on the level Atlanta FaZe is, you know, you could see there's rooms of improvement that could have led to you actually being in the lead on this rotation. Like, Atlanta FaZe talks about all the time, oh, we're slamming kids, this and that. Dude, you gotta do better. Like, if you actually think you're on that level, then, you know, you probably could add the lead after this first rotation. Just pointing that out. So now we're gonna keep going forward. Alright, so we're gonna go from this P1 into P2 into like a JP clip, and then I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, so on this P1, I actually like this original thing from like Atlanta FaZe, because like most of the time on P5 there usually is a guy that tries to wrap around and try to flip, but they don't understand LA Thieves game plan. Maybe didn't watch enough VOD, because LA Thieves has taken that route before, but LA Thieves is switching it up. LA Thieves' plan is literally to just get control of this and just hold this side the whole time. They're not even playing for P2 like the whole time. They're just playing for this side. They're going to hold this side. They're going to soak time. They're going to make like Atlanta FaZe fucking push. So I actually like this, like, because like they like doubled up the back and they realized that they couldn't. He reads the pressure quite well. Goes to help. Number 4 outside helps him on the hill. And then he knows another guy in ticket. They trade, but now this guy dies outer. I feel like right here, I know aBeZy is the furthest person forward, and usually the job of the person that's pushed like the furthest forward is to go take space. But I feel in this scenario, he could have gone away with hopping on the hill. Honestly, like even playing like the door. Doesn't really have to play the day 1 spot, but he can if he wants to. But just like playing either of the doors and just playing the hill, and allowing his teammates off spawn to just watch over him, because now you at least know that LA Thieves is gonna have to make moves like towards the hill, because like you're on the hill, you're soaking, it's gonna speed them up to want to try to get you off, you know, as opposed to him just pushing ticket. Doesn't really do anything. Gets a kill, but you're gonna see it actually amounts to absolutely fucking nothing this whole time, not even on the hill. And something I gotta say, if you're not getting kills, you gotta get on the hill. I even said it, this is more of an SMG map to get on the hill. You see Envoy, 58 seconds, that's what you gotta do. aBeZy has to be that person. Simp is clearly, like, obviously Atlanta FaZe is good this map against everyone else, but against LA Thieves you kind of gotta switch it up. This is a map that Sim's very good at, because it's a very good roaming map. It's a very flexible map where you can take out a sub, have an AR. Simp is clearly the better player, no offense. Like, not No, but he's the better player at roaming and getting kills. Like, he just is. On this map, he's very good at roaming and getting kills. Most of the time you see him in like the first half of any fucking red card, he's always like a guaranteed like 2.0. Like, aBeZy should be hopping on the hill, just baiting out like these to come and make the job easier for his team. But he's not getting on the hill, so there's no one taking any sort of attention away from Thieves. So Thieves could just play for kills on the outer, not really have to worry about the hill. And there's what I want to talk about, spreading like the map on P1 and how it could be effective. So we saw in the first P1, Atlanta FaZe had control of like this side, but now you're gonna see how Thieves plays it. So Thieves is fucking splitting. So right now, like, they're playing it like they're spreading right now, and look, this takes attention away, leaves this space now open. I mean, I'm not even gonna take out the pencil for this, but now you see there's now people watching their backs. ISO, this is what playing spread does. So now, like, it actually gets the original kills, but now this is what Thieves is gonna try to do, and this is what they do for like basically like the rest of this time. They're just holding this side. They don't even want the P2 side. They have a game plan. We're just gonna trap them in the back of P2 because that's what they're going for. So we're not even gonna play for this. Like, that was just for like the initial to spread. Like, they got the one kill from it. But now you're gonna see. So now Ghosty gets this kill. So now Atlanta FaZe knows you don't want the lead to get too big. You're playing a fucking 10-0 team, you know. Gotta keep challenging this, but take a look at what Thieves is doing. Ghosty just playing the stairs, has a trophy, throws a trophy down. They're just playing for control of this. He's in like the doorway, and he's like occasionally peeking that way, but they're just holding this shit. They're not even playing for P2 side at all. They are holding this. They're just trying to pin Atlanta FaZe in the back. They're saying, you could have the P2 spawns if you want, brother. Keep fucking challenging us. Like, we don't care. Got that. And now look, now they have him trapped in the back, and this we're gonna get into like the JP clip. I'm gonna comment on it real quick because I love collaborative efforts. So like now you see Hydra sprinting, getting the kill at the back. You got the guy on this stage. He has angles there. This guy gets a kill, but now Scrap goes up to go get that kill, free kill. And now take a look at this fucking setup. The back's blocked. The deep spawn's blocked. So this is where they spawn, deep inside. This is about as good as a P2 setup as you could ever get. They're the only team I've ever seen actually do it like this, where they have a guy pushed up in the back spawn and a guy blocking the back and giving them as deep a spawn as possible. Because now you're basically putting him in a fuck situation. Because now they're almost guaranteed to have to at least 1 to 2 take routes into mid. And the other people aren't just going to like go out the back door. So they're either going to go through like the window, which I think most of them try to do, but majority of them are going to try to just like work like this P1 area. And one guy taking outside route. But this is a spawn I've never seen any team except for LAT execute. This is why they're 10-0 on the map, and they're able to do it. They're able to get the kills to even put you in this position. Like, not many teams have success at getting consistent 4 people down all the time. So as you can see, they have them trapped in the back, and now we're gonna get into like the JP clip right now.
Even more, and actually just wraps this. Now he plays a different spot, number 5, and now push over to mid. He's just jiggling for info to see if they're coming mid. He jiggles, sees that 1 and 3 are now starting to shoot him. Look at this setup. It's so hard. Number 8 on hill is watching the dub window. Number 7 from stage is watching the top window, and number 5 keeps jiggling for the low door. So how are they gonna break? You see what I'm saying? They have this route, they have this route, they have the top route, and they have number 5 jiggling for this info. So all 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 routes are all being at least watched. The only route that's not being watched is that super deep fucking insane route that no one's gonna take. The deepest that you will take this is like through Ticket or Phillies and pinch this door. But again, number 5 is still there, and you'd have to fight him. So how do you break this? You kind of just have to go one way and just commit to it. So what they end up doing is trying to force this guy's hand, number 5. You know, number 1 dies for it, but number 2 is had taken the route, which he should have, made the play, and should kill this guy now. The problem here is though, once this, like, let's say number 2 gets a kill on number 5, they still have to break the hill, and LET's still soaking that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to go through how I feel that they should break. Obviously, everyone's gonna have their own opinion. People have different philosophies on playing. I'm sure Atlanta FaZe will probably have a different philosophy of how they break this as well. But I'm taking all the scenarios into account. You're down 79 to 132. Taking routes is good. That's usually what you want to do whenever you're trapped in the back. But there's only 30 seconds left on this hill. And by the time you take the routes, they pretty much got another like 20 fucking seconds. And they're anticipating you to play. They're anticipating guys to make the routes and go outside through mid. Like, they are anticipating people like to go this way. They are anticipating this. What I feel they should do, because you never want all 4 people going in the same direction. You always want at least one person on a pinch or like a split. Unless there's certain scenarios where it's like immediate, like a P3, boom, whatever. But you always want one person on an island in a scenario playing like some sort of a pinch or flank. I feel taking all the scenario into account, I think they should be sending 3 guys along the back, even if you die. 1 guy through the window, 2 through the back. Work your way out as a team. Get this guy out. Get the guy on the hill. Yeah, this guy has crossfires, but the angle that he has on like the ledge is, you could only like see him if they like hop out the window. But the second they hop out the window, there's like that big like tent thing right there he can't see. So he either sees like this whole like lane on the hedges, doesn't see anything at all. So in this scenario, I feel like they should work for the kill. Even if you die, even if 1 guy dies, you at least get like this guy out. You slowly start working for this guy. And then when you have these 2 guys out of here, it's going to come at the cost of some trades. But as long as you get them, you're going to keep spawning closer, because now they're not blocking like the back. And now you have numbers back here, so you're going to get a closer spawn. You're not going to spawn super deep. At least if you get these 2 guys out of here, you stop the bleeding. You get the person out the time. Yeah, this is like a power scenario like to have. Like, yes, this is a power scenario. But if you look at the bigger picture, on the P2 to P3 rotation, you're playing for this area. And if you have at least control of the P2 and you're rotating this way, you at least are now, this space is now going to be covered because you're going from this to get to there. So you at least know they're not going to be there. As opposed to having to be on this side and having to fight everybody coming this way, it's a lot harder. Like, it's a lot harder to be on this side having to fight people coming this way than it is to be here and clear it as you're going forward towards the back, because you're going to need to have this side anyway. So I feel like they should be just playing for the back, put resources, put trades. It doesn't matter. You need to stop the bleeding. Getting a pinch and working the outside not going to do anything, because the whole time they're getting time. And even if you get them out of this time, they're going to start spawning back here. And then you have to worry about them now having to come towards this way. So it's another thing you have to worry about. As opposed to if you just get one factor out of the way, clear this area first, and then as you go forward, then you start pushing this way. You don't have to worry about people behind you, you know? They may, after like they clear these guys and they start working forward, because there's still 30 seconds, and maybe with the last 10 seconds left when they're not occupying the back, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 players that spawn back here. A lot easier, because it's basically these exact same scenarios, like going on this side, getting these guys are going to spawn back here anyway. At least when you go from this side, you're getting them off the hill and you're slowly working this side. It's a progressive spawn flip, as I talked about before. I coined the phrase, by the way, PSF. Borito came up with that, okay? Borito did it. But this is a progressive spawn flip, slowly working towards a flip, not playing for it immediately on a pinch, but progressively getting kills, working the map, and then flipping them finally in like 2 to 3 lives. That's a progressive spawn flip. That's what I feel like they should have done, because now you're going to even see how it plays out. Yeah, like fucking essentially. Okay, yeah, so now we're going to go off this, and then we're going to go back to this one, because now you're going to see how this plays out. All right. So you're gonna see Atlanta FaZe is conflicted. They're not doing what I just drew up. They're trying to work through mid, which kind of plays into the advantage of LA Thieves, because now you notice now he just goes this way, and now they like collapse on this side. They keep the pressure away, and yes, Atlanta FaZe has this side now, so now they got the guys at the back. But take a look how this has zero benefit, because now you have this side, but they're still on the hill. They're still soaking the time. So you're actually accomplishing nothing. So you work your way out the back just for him to get control of the back again, which is kind of counterproductive, like a little bit. But now look, you now have to fight them going this way, and they immediately get it right back, because it would have just been easier like to do it the other way. You just like work your way at the back. I know it's demoralizing too, because when you know there's like a guy right here, a guy right here, a guy right here, a guy right there, and you're spawning fucking in like a fucking potty corner, like you're literally spawning in a potty corner. I know it's hard, and I know it's demoralizing. Fuck, I gotta work my way all the way out the back against a really good team. Like, oh my god, it would just be easy if I just took a route. You gotta be patient in scenarios like this. You have to have the composure in scenarios like this. Like, work your way out the back, one step at a time. Don't try to skip 3 steps by just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go on a pinch, we're gonna get the outside. Because the ending result to that ended up being LAT still getting control of this outer going into the P3 anyway. All right, so now basically after this P3, LA Thieves ran away with it. We're just gonna go through it and talk about it. There's no like big things to talk about, so we're just gonna like flow through probably like 6 to 10 minutes at the max if I do stop on anything, but it's all pretty straightforward. So now you're gonna see, it's so funny because I didn't watch this before I like remade the video. I obviously watched it live, but now I've been watching for like 2 weeks. Now you can see how Atlanta FaZe is playing tight. They're not isoing like far away. Granted, like they spawn back there, so they're kind of like forcing the scenario. They're actually able to get really good time. They get really good time off of this. Just playing tight, but for the life of me, can't understand what MC's doing here. What split spawns are you playing for, brother? Like, this should be the last thing you are watching. This should be the last thing you are watching, brother. If they come there, that is fucking fine, dude. You need to go help him on the front side. That's what you need to do. You need to go take pressure off him. Granted, he has no pressure right now, but you need to go double up there. That way, he could be more flexible and help you on the hill, and you guys will most likely have like the trades on the outer. Being back here watching nothing, you're gonna see how it fucking costs them. I was like, what is this guy watching back there? Who even sits back there? Like, what are you playing for back there? You want them to be there? You want them to be there because it's easier to deal with when they have to just come up the stairs or come up the backside. Way easier to deal with. You still haven't got them out of the front, so you're basically inviting them to just keep spawning on the front. They're not gonna get splits yet. So you're gonna see how this plays out. So now number 4 spawns. Oh fuck, I gotta get up because he thought they're gonna spawn there. And now when number 3 has to go help on the hill, number 1's not there in time, and he does get a kill. But imagine if he was like there the whole time. Imagine if he was like pushed up on the truck. Probably pops like maybe 1, maybe 2. And now number 3 doesn't die. He could also help on the hill as well. Even though he got on the stairs, but definitely would have put him in a way better position. And this is like exactly like the rocker thing I showed. So like, so now Atlanta FaZe have to overcommit because they don't want the lead to get too big. And now they overcommit lives. I don't know at this point. There's 16 seconds left. You might as well chalk this and just pray for like a full 60 on this P4. Because now MC now overcommits. You're going to see what happens. Overcommits. Now they're flipped. Draza trying to make up for like all the mistakes that have been happening for this team right here. So now he's playing in the back, even envoying the comms. Draw's playing for him. I didn't realize my volume was so loud. My bad. I'm not gonna be redoing that fucking video. My bad. Didn't know the volume was loud. So Draws does a good job playing in the back here. Now you even see how he breaks this. Wall bangs it just to get him to shoot back. Kind of throws him off a bit. Slides in. I thought that was a great break. And even Envoy was saying play ratty, because that's what you got to do on these like P4 crosses. You got to play ratty. So like Atlanta FaZe breaks that. And so Ghosty calls in like the streak, and like he does whenever he calls in a streak, always takes a sip of the water all the time, without fail. In this scenario, when they have a Hellstorm, I know you have to be indoors, but I don't know why he's not in the top. Because at least in the top, you're protected, and they have to choose between you or the hill guys, and you could at least get crossfires on this. So I don't know why Simp wasn't up top. I don't know the importance of having a watch top mid when the immediate pressure is this, because all of Atlanta FaZe kind of has to turtle on the hill. They can't really do anything. So they can't even really fucking child the shit. So I don't know why he was not up top, because at up top he actually would have been able to get like the cross right there. So I don't know why he was in mid, kind of being dumb. And then MC there, when the streak got called in, he should have fucking pushed up Hedges, but he just decided to cap a corner. Because at least if you push up Hedges and you go towards their side, they have a chance of, like, you know, actually getting team fired by their own streak. It actually takes pressure away, because you're pushed up so far. They kind of have to use a Hellstorm on themselves, you know, if you're pushed up. But that one's kind of hindsight. That was more on Christopher there like to get up top, and then they get broken there. Now Atlanta FaZe is in a fuck spot now. Like, you're down 124 to 188. You kind of still have to go for this, because you can't really afford to allow them to go 210 to 124. Like, they're 10-0. Can't really afford that to happen. And you see Draza once again taking the Christopher Lear route. And once again, LA Thieves does not read this at all. So, like, they read that one, because that one's the obvious one. And now Draza does the exact same thing that Simp does. And now you're going to see how LA Thieves is able to hold this. They have number 6. So, obviously, we talked about roles and everything. I'm not even going to get into that, actually. I already explained it way too many times. But Hydra knows last guy off spawn, so he's blocking the back. And this gives his team free reign to know they're all going to keep spawning over here. So he's just hard blocking the back. They're still spawning in the back. The guy on the hill picks up mid. One thing not being watched. And this guy could just watch this side. Pops a 2. Get the guy in mid. And now Atlanta FaZe once again panicking, because now, you know, you go 4 down. You know they're going to take space. You know they're going to be in ticket now. I like Draza playing this angle. These guys needed to act a lot faster. These guys needed to hit this shit fast, because this guy can only stay here for like fucking so long. And I know they just got 2 pieces by scrap, so they're kind of tweaking. But they should have doubled up on that, and they should have let MC like just take like the road by himself, because right now too much time is being wasted. Because now, you know, Scrap's there. The second he shot Scrap, Simp should just helped him, just collapse. Like, the faster you push this, the easier it makes Draza's life. Because now you're still leaving Draza there. He doesn't really have much help. He gets one, but he gets traded. Imagine if Simp was there, they probably trade that. And now they just don't have control of the hill. LA Thieves just soaking the time. And I mean, this one's pretty much over. Like, Atlanta FaZe does get some time on the P1, but I honestly don't even count it, even though I should be counting it, because we have seen Ultra twice, like, start a comeback, starting off of a P5 going to a P1. So if Atlanta FaZe did play this perfectly, like, they could have still came back. I mean, it's not impossible. It's only 234. Pretty easy to keep them off 16 seconds if you're really locked in and like you chain like 2-3 hills. But as you can see, like, they get 4 down, spreading the map, take routes, they get kills, 4 down. And they do a very good job keeping them off. A number 2 blocking the back. 4 kind of watching his ticket. Yeah, but fucking 2's able to watch him. So they're doing a good job. They're controlling outside. And then I think he dies from ticket right here. Yeah. Ticket route fucking finally got to him. Fucking aBeZy couldn't help. Now we're going into P2. And this is where the game ends right here. And I think there's just like one thing like to call it like they did. So like Atlanta FaZe is now locking in. All of a sudden they're getting 3-4 downs all the time, because I think LAT now, like, they're so close to the win, they're kind of just like trying to rush the shit. Like, they're just kind of trolling. So like go right there, they get broken. So I was confused here, because Draza was watching his outside, but then I think Draza got shot at by Scrap. I think right here he got shot at, like right here. Yeah, so he gets shot at, so he has to give up the outer. So he's assuming that number one has his top, but who knows with the way MC comms? I mean, they have to understand him by now. He should have been like hiding behind this. He should have moved more to the left and just been watching his ledge, but that's a hindsight fucking thing. And not really hindsight, honestly, because if he comes from the back, he has to walk in, and he has an AR, so it actually gives you like a lot of time to even know he's there. But Hedge was like the immediate fucking pressure. But like they get him out the hill, and it's pretty much over from there. So, like, I feel like Atlanta FaZe obviously is like the closest team to being able to beat LATs on this map. There's just certain things that they need to do better. They need to know when to play tight. Need to know when to spread the map, make LATs think. They need to make LATs think more. That's what they need to do. They need to make them think more. And I feel like I really want to see Optic play LATs on this map. I really do. I've been fucking fiending for that shit. I really want to see Optic play LATs on this map, but I feel like the reason why Optic wouldn't be that effective playing LATs on this map is because Optic makes their ARs hop on the hill more, and they give SMGs more of a route to roam. But that could be good against LA Thieves, who likes to like post up with ARs, but if the ARs don't even have a chance to post up because like the SMGs, Hook, Shotzi, always flanking, always pitching, always making them turn, and then they're getting popped from dash shoes on the hill. You know, it could work. And then you also have fucking Merc there as well, who's another shooter. I think Optic's another team in a match that could... It's Optic and Atlanta FaZe. Those are the only two teams I feel that have any hope. Like, I mean any hope. Atlanta FaZe probably has the higher percentage because now they have a lot of reps. They have a lot of info to go off of, but they haven't made the best of it. But I feel like Optic's like probably like the other team that could actually beat LA Thieves on this map, but they haven't played them on it yet. They haven't even had the chance, you know? They haven't had the chance. So I hope maybe see that pretty soon. EWC champs, but Atlanta FaZe have some things to work on. I think whenever they play LA Thieves on this map, they are feeling their aura a bit. They might be tweaking a bit, a little bit more anxious. I feel like aBeZy especially needs to be a lot more decisive with the SMG, needs to direct a lot more of his attention towards the hill, because him trying to roam and get kills as well is not helping Atlanta FaZe as a whole. He needs to be the guy who's actually being a headbanger on this map, getting the hill, drawing LA Thieves towards the hill more, allowing his teammates with the ARs and Simp, who's like a very good roamer, like, you can still get a lot of kills on the hill because hill gets a lot of interaction because the other team doesn't want you to get time. So I think he needs to draw people more into the hill, needs to be more direct towards getting towards the hill, every single hill. Obviously, there's going to be hills where other teammates get there faster and he can play the outside. But I think he needs to be, like, Hook does a very good job, even though he doesn't get hill time, of being around the hill. He's always in the vicinity of the hill. His impact's very strong. I think a lot of people just look at the scoreboard. If you don't have kills, you have to have the time. Not entirely true, but if you don't have either, it's a problem. But if you're around the hill, if you're like around the hill, like, you know, if you're around the hill doing things, he needs to be more direct on those P1s. On the P1s, he should be like, if his team doesn't have control of outer, obviously help him on outer. Be that, he needs to be like the bridge between helping and being on the hill. He needs to be that bridge. Like, be on the hill, but if your teammates need to help on the out, like, fucking go outside the hill. I was like fucking mumbling there, my bad. But he needs to do a better job at that. And you saw he started the game off really bad, and then he pulled out an AR, because when you pull out an AR, you just automatically fucking get a better KD. It's an AR's world. We're just living in it. It's crazy. So you did see him pick up his KD after he pulled out the AR, but he shouldn't have to. You could still have an impact with an SMG on this map. Like, 2 ARs plus Chris on like an SMG, AR on like a P4, that's more than enough. Like, aBeZy should be SMG the whole time. Hydra runs the SMG the whole time on the map. I think aBeZy does it obviously when like you're doing bad. It's always nice to switch, but he needs to do a good job just putting more pressure on the map and being able to like, I know it's a very cliche saying, like, put pressure on the map, but in a scenario like this, when LA Thieves is at their very best on REDCARD, when they could just set up, you need to be a disruptor. You need to be, if you're going to take routes, if you're aBeZy, hit routes fast. if you're on the hill or near the hill, get on the hill. Let your arrows watch over you. You don't need to be doing the extra shit in fucking ticket, whatever. Get on the hill. This goes for every hill, not just P1. But you need to get on the hill. Make your arrows job easier because now they just have to watch over you. You know, draw them into you. Get kills. Work the space off after you get kills, like that type of shit. That's what you got to do. And whenever you're not on the hill, like, be decisive. Don't take a lot of time making decisions. Make decisions fast. Don't give LA Thieves any chance to set up because that's when they're most dangerous, when they set up. If you don't give them a chance to set up because you're always hitting shit fast, hitting routes fast, hitting pitches fast, or just being direct very fast as a team, that's your best bet. We saw moments of that when Atlanta FaZe like had LA Thieves like under the ropes, but then they didn't really know what to do with it. Like, LA Thieves isn't unbeatable on this map. They can lose this map. You just have to play it right. You need to play it perfect. Don't give them a chance to set up. And, I mean, all the best could happen. So, we'll see what happens if they play this map again. Probably should have played them on Hacienda, but maybe with this video, you could play them on REDCARD again. See what happens. See what